What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about masternodes. Masternodes almost feel like they're a thing of the past, but they really aren't. And fundamentally, there are still coins that are coming out releasing masternodes. Getting in early is a real shot of potentially making huge returns on investment, but also the passive income is pretty good. I just actually want to cover how masternodes work. Before I get into that, I update the spreadsheet, the first 26 coins that I spoke about on the channel. I do invest $100 into each of these when I release videos about them. You're still holding all that crypto. You can profit for over 16 grand. For 6+ months, I've been banging on about building a list of coins. Build the list of coins you're interested in long term. Bear cycles tend to collapse about 60, 70, 80, usually 90+% of the crap coins. And if your coin's still knocking about in a bear cycle and you're still excited about it, you might have a gem there. If you've not actually got round to it, you've still got time. Bear cycles last, even if there are bounces along the way. Nothing drops in a straight line. I think Bitcoin's probably going to have a bounce. It's more probable that it will have a bounce this week than it is unlikely. But that means, bear cycle will last a bit longer potentially. If you've not got around to building your list though, and you don't have the energy, the time, family obligations, whatever it is, you can come to Copy My Crypto. You can see the coins that I will be getting in on during the bear cycle. And if you want to know what they are, you can click the link in the description and check it out. Right. So coin market cap you can list by masternodes. So obviously Dash is probably the most well-known masternode. And your list is effectively here. Now, I don't believe all of these actually run masternodes, but I think they interact in some way. And there's actually a site called Masternodes Online. Now, you can organize by whatever means you want, whether it's ROI, whether it's minimum worth, the masternode worth. That's probably a good way of doing it in terms of then you can see what the costs are for you. So apparently a masternode for Rapids is going to cost $76,000. But their sort of trading volume is $56, so that'd be one I'd stay away from probably. And what you can do with this site is actually click and start learning about them. It tells you the minimum, like the required number of coins to run a masternode for all of these. So you can pick out any one really and just start having a look. So as an example, Fero. Now, masternodes, yes, they require a bit of capital, but when you get into a coin early, masternodes are a lot cheaper. A masternode for Dash right now costs about 1,000 lot of whatever the price is, so $63, so $63,000, right? That's a lot of money. But when Dash came out, people were picking up masternodes for $1,000, and in 2018, Dash ran to $1,500. So that was a masternode that people got for $1,000 or thereabouts, ended up being worth $1.5 million. So they're an interesting opportunity, but you do have to look at these as in real depth. So I'll pick one out that's low but good volume. So Fero's got decent decent volume. You require 1,000 coins, although it says 0 nodes. So that in and of itself is kind of weird. So we'll go with something else. Volume. I want decent volumes. Beldex. So about 800,000 volume. That's pretty good. Initial cost $800. So we can have a look at Beldex as an example. So Beldex, and it breaks down daily incomes. So if you have a masternode on Beldex, it'll earn you about $5 a day. So across a year, $1,800. That's actually pretty good. Considering when you bear in mind the masternode is going to cost you half of that, that's pretty damn good. So actually, you could end up effectively running two additional masternodes after that, because the required coins are 10,000. And then from there, the data is pretty exciting. That's quite appealing. So then you've got to look at the site itself and you've got to start researching. So Beldex might be something great. I don't know. I'm actually not familiar with Beldex. So Web3 is about building scalable, decentralized, and secure applications. Internet of privacy. So look, privacy is one that I'm all for. I'm concerned with the future privacy coins, mind you, because obviously I think there's going to be certain moves against them down the line. They've been in the media a decent amount, although you can pay for media. Pay for media to be presented within the media. That's not actually as expensive as people would imagine. Certainly not for sort of your Yahoos and stuff. I've ran through that with threads previous, like with a Twitter thread that I used from To Comma Pauper, I believe, when he ran through how he used to manipulate markets back in the day. So we can take a look at Beldex's medium. So, okay. So Beldex has got a little bit about it. It could be an interesting one. And then let's have a look, see if Beldex is here. Like looking up insurance. Beldex isn't there. So we can have a look on CoinGecko, presumably. Yeah. And these sort of approaches, like I say, if you catch something that's pretty damn good, you've got a chance of making some money. Now, Beldex, that's not a bad market cap, 125 million. It's a pretty decent market cap. Privacy coins haven't been that successful in the last couple of years, other than Monero. But it's tradable on HitBTC. I don't like HitBTC as well. Yeah, so it's an interesting one. I'm not going to do a deep dive looking at it, but the reason that I'm sort of talking this through is fundamentally, like I said, masternodes, if you want, proper, if you want one of the top tier masternodes, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But there are some masternodes out there of cryptos with pretty significant market caps that are pretty damn profitable. And they're something to consider if you've got the money to make that investment. Because like I said, this is not small money, but you do have a shot of potentially doing something pretty good with it. See, Beldex is saying that the market cap's 40.3 million. Or, no, chain age. Chain age in months. Oh, right. Okay, 40.3 months. Okay, so it's been around a couple of years. So, this is it. Really interesting opportunities here. I wouldn't be necessarily looking at ones with enormous ROIs. The ones that have enormous ROIs, not great in terms of payout long term, and tend to depreciate in value far more. And a masternode is a lot of money, particularly if something is declining in value. Because as an example, the masternode is going to cost you 36 grand for Bond coin, but the yearly income is apparently 356,000. Now, to me, that's screaming that it's probably not going to hold its price over the course of time. Because if you're telling me that you're 10xing the amount of coins that you have in a masternode, then that means that overall the coin itself is going to end up with an enormous supply. Yeah, so the circulating supply is nowhere close to the total supply. So that's something to be careful of. So those tokens are going to get released in a massive way over the course of the sort of year. So again, something to be aware of. You don't want, like when I'm looking at masternodes, I'm not looking at ones with enormous ROIs. When I look at masternodes, and when I previously used to look at masternodes, I was looking at reasonable ROIs. They're anywhere up to sort of 20%, but for cryptos that were quality, for cryptos that were interesting, and cryptos that have decent trading volume. Because if they don't have decent trading volume, fundamentally, you got to remember you've got to offload them over the course of time. That's a big ask. It's a big ask. So yeah, something to be aware of. Because like I said, this is a really interesting area. Flux is one. So we could have a look at Flux, but because that percent isn't bad, I sort of don't mind that. A decent trading volume. So Flux, you know, across a year, not going to earn tons, but the cost of the masternode is $729, so you're going to earn about a quarter of that in a year. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. And if Flux has long term, if Flux long term is a good coin, then you might have one here that's not going to run too expensive. And look, the circulating supply isn't hugely away from the total supply that's going to be released over the course of time. So Flux is actually kind of an intriguing one. And it's on Binance as well, so probably a pretty decent one. It's not on a crap network, crap exchange. So decentralized Web 3.0, the next generational computational network. Interesting one. And I just wanted to bring this to people's attention. I've done a masternode video before, but I actually don't think, I think it's worthwhile people paying attention, because fundamentally, if you end up picking up a masternode on a crypto that ends up appreciating in value really well, not only does your masternode end up being worth a ton more, but obviously your passive income stream will rise exponentially. It's something to consider for the future. And that's it, really. Just wanted a quick exploration into masternodes. Like I say, there's opportunities within this space, but there are a lot of masternodes, and a lot of them are for real dog shit projects. So you do have to bear that in mind. Also, a lot of them are very, very expensive. And some of them, again, are not necessarily great projects. There's a lot of variables and a lot of things to consider whenever you're looking at masternodes, because you're not talking about a small amount of money. But if you land a crypto that ends up having huge price appreciation over time, like Syscoin's a good project. Syscoin could, but even then, that masternode is going to run you at 11k, so it's not small change. You're getting a 7% ROI across a year, but if it appreciates in value really well in the next bull cycle, huge profit to be made. And like I say, if you can get a quality one nice and early, that could be a life changer. So something to explore. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you're all keeping well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you know when new content is coming out. And if you want to see the coins I'm getting into during the bear cycle, then all you have to do is click the link in the description and check it out. The bear cycle, folks, is the best time to invest. So if you're not joining Copy My Crypto, build your list of coins. Start investigating, start researching, because every financial market in history, bear cycles, recessions, always the best time to invest. So start looking, start researching. That's it for me. Take it easy. Bye-bye.